Barcelona, world, everywhere, don't go anywhere. Blkswn is in the studio. He brought his whole crew. The Food for Art crew is here. Brooklyn in the house. What do we got? Brooklyn? We got Bronx? Okay, we got the whole map covered. Stay with us. We're going live with Blkswn in about 2 minutes.
Ever been this close to a real one? Yeah. You never seen it coming, you gon' feel one. Hey. Swerving while I'm sipping, I don't spill none. Hey. Do you tryna get it while I'm still young? Yeah. You ever been this close to the real?
Barcelona City FM, you're listening to Going Deep. My name is Billy Harfosh. A little bit louder in the studio. We got a bunch of people here from the Food for Art crew. Say what's up, everybody. Say hello.
That's good.
We got a full studio here, and I'm real excited to have the gentleman in studio who you've been hearing his music since 3 o'clock today. It's Blkswn. What's up, man?
Nothing much. Chilling.
How you doing, man?
Excellent, actually, as a matter of fact, right now.
All right. Looking good. Let's do this, man. You know the name of the show is Going Deep, so I hope to share some awesome stuff and also share your music to our audience.
Let's do that.
I'd like to start from the beginning, man. I'd like to start where you grew up. Now, did you grow up in Brooklyn?
Okay, so man, that's a complicated story. Okay, so
that's the easy question, by the way.
It's not. So I was born in D.C., and we didn't stay in D.C. for very long. We actually moved around quite a bit from the time I was born to maybe about 17, 18. But we lived everywhere from New York to Boston to Atlanta to Dallas. And then when I finally got out on my own, I had moved out of the country. I'd lived in England for a while. Then I'd come back to live in New York, and now I'm here. That's the short end. That's as condensed as I can make it.
So moving all over the place, even England. Did you grow up in a musical family, a musical neighborhood, friends?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. I my dad was a singer actually in Boston. He used to actually go out and sing for the Kennedys and stuff. My grandmother was one of the first African American female DJs on the radio in New York ever, as well as reporters ever for NBC. My mother, when I was 2, she was managing a rap group when I was 2. So I didn't
sounds pretty musical to me.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
I just meant was the radio on? I mean,
no, but I'm saying I think when people say oh, do you come from a musical background? I think they imagine somebody sitting there standing over them for hours on end. Yeah, my mother put me in the piano classes and stuff when I was younger. But at the time, I was way more attentive to sports and other extracurricular stuff.
Now, when did you fall in love with hip hop?
That's twice.
Twice.
Okay, so I have a brother that's 10 years older than me, and pretty much, as far as I was growing up, he was he was the fountain of wisdom. Between him and my mother, I knew everything. So, as far as that felt. So he used to put me onto, stuff that was before me. And the first song that I remember him putting me onto was a song by Nas called It Ain't Hard to Tell. So I thought that song was super dope, still one of my favorite beats to this day. But it hadn't made the lasting impression that makes somebody go, oh, I'm going to, pursue this as a lifestyle option or a career. When I was 10... I was in my room one day after school, and this was back when you only listen to the radio for music, So
we still do here at Barcelona City. What are you talking about?
Fair, but it's also streaming. There's other components.
All right.
There are a lot of other components
good save.
to radio now than there was back then.
Right.
Forgot About Dre had come on with Dr. Dre and Eminem, and I had never heard anything like Eminem. And I stopped what I was doing. At the time, my mother was actually working at a radio. So yeah, I come from a somewhat musical family. My mother was working at like a huge radio station in
Now
Boston.
he admits it.
Yeah, like, but that was the moment, because even with her working at a hip hop radio station, I was still listening to like Rage Against the Machines because I just wanted to like be my brother. So like,
yeah.
So it was like, but when I heard Forgot About Dre and I heard Eminem's verse on Forgot About Dre, I literally stopped what I was doing and stood in front of the radio like I was encountering an alien object.
Blew your mind.
It was the most
I mean,
amazing shit ever.
It just,
so
the
dope.
flow is just
It was incredible.
ridiculous.
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And like from that point forward, I was like, I'm gonna rap. And then like for the like following 2 years, I would be telling my mom like, well, 4 years, I was telling my mom like, yo, I'm gonna rap, and I would come to her with like verses every now and then. And I was like really good at football and basketball.
Real football, or
American
soccer
football.
or
American football.
American
I am
football.
trash. I am garbage. I am absolute trash in soccer. But I was really good at football and really good at basketball. And my mom, every time I would come to her with like verses that I had written, I'd be like, "Mom, look at this," and she'd be like, play
Cool.
football, baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for like up until I was like 17, like I guess to her, like she was like, yeah, I mean that's cool, but you're better at sports right now. And then as I got a little bit older and a little bit better, she started kind of like really acknowledging it.
Now, when I think of a rapper, when I think of a hip hop artist, and your beginnings, when you were first starting to rhyme, is it like we see in the movies, where you're with your friends, you're with the guys, you're hanging out, and you just start battling each other and freestyling? I mean, is that really how you got your start, or is it totally different?
It's not different. Like I want to say it is, but it's like I started off a battle rapper. Like I was going to school in Texas when I like first started really rapping. And I was I started with two of my like best friends at the time, Dwight Wilson and James Mitchell. Shout outs to them because they're dope. But we started rapping just like really in my room with like a computer mic that we had hooked up in the closet with this program called Mixcraft, which like if anybody's familiar, like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's like it's like you can't do anything with that program really, but like you can try. You can really try.
And that's how you started. You and your friend, and
it was three of us, and we made like in 2 weeks we like made a mixtape before we were going back to school that semester, and we were like, yo, we're gonna go to school and we're gonna sell this mixtape for $5, and then we're gonna come back, print some more, and then we're gonna sell. And we actually did that. Like we actually, like, it worked. Like it was the worst quality ever. Not a single beat belonged to us because nobody produced. So it was like we were rapping on like other people's beats the entire time, but like we got people in our school to buy it. Like, and then
so it worked.
It worked.
Success.
It worked. But
now,
like it was like that and battle rapping that was like solidified. Like, oh, that kid, he's definitely a rapper. Like I think that's what solidified.
Was there a moment or a year when you started getting in your own head like confidence and legitimate, like actually I can do this, like I'm pretty good,
bro? Like if I'm 100% honest, I have an excellent mother who like from inception was like, yo, you're dope, you're gonna be dope no matter what you do, be as dope as you possibly can be. And anybody that tells you you're not dope, they're probably not as dope as you. So like just go ahead, continue your life and be dope as you possibly can. So I never really had I never really got an opportunity to set up like any type of like borders or boundaries for like what I could or could not do. I mean, with that mindset comes a lot of like opposition and a lot of obstacles along the way, obviously. But like, I never really like.
But she gave you that gift, though. The gift of just total confidence.
Like,
do what you do.
Do it. The worst thing that's gonna happen from you doing it is you'll find out that it doesn't work out. And my mother, again, who was kind of instilled. It was like, quite honestly, the whole reason I'm here. Like, is because of that concept of like, do you think you can do it? Like, this is a really foreign concept. Like, no pun intended. This is a really foreign concept for me to even like be here at this point in time, like at this station, talking about what I'm talking about, like doing what I'm doing. Like, this is like, this alone is like, oh man, that's so foreign. That's so like impossible. How are you gonna get that done? And
actually, to be here physically in what I want to get to.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Barcelona in general. I'm all about differences. I'm all about unconventional decision making. But when we come back, I want to play a tune. I want to ask you about, man, you're a rapper from the United States, Brooklyn, Texas, all very famous places for hip hop artists. Why make the move across the pond here all the way over to Spain? I want to ask you about that.
I can't wait to talk about that.
But first, here it is. We got it. It's all about the music here. We can't talk too much.
Lit.
Night Surf, here it is. Blkswn, Food for Art. Stay with us, Barcelona City FM.
I've been low-key serving. I've been late night surfing. In the whip banging swerving. Showing out till it's curved. This shit you bitchin', I've been curving. But you ain't seen this shit in person.
Barcelona City FM, that's Night Surf, Blkswn we're jamming to right now. We got the whole crew in studio, the Food for Art crew. We're going to get to that in a moment. So, going back to this big move here, Blkswn, you chose to leave our country, the United States, and as an artist, as a hip-hop rapper, you are also the founder of the New York City Artist Collective, and now you're a member here with the Food for Art crew. Why the decision to bring your career here to Barcelona? That's what fascinates me.
All right. So, before I was here, I was actually living back in New York, and I actually didn't get really serious about doing music until I was about 22, and it was like 2012, and I had just moved back into the country from England, and the first time I came over here, I was like, this is the loophole. This is like, there's 100 million of us. Like, let's say quite literally, there's like 8-9 million people in New York City alone. Say about 2 million of them are artists, right? And then say about another 1 million of them are like artists as good as me or better. You know what I mean?
Not 1 million.
No, I mean, like, seriously, legitimately, the way that numbers work, yeah. Like, it's kind of the way it works. There's tons of artists there, it's 1 million artists chasing after 10 opportunities. 10 opportunities because all the other opportunities have already been filled over years and years of saturation of different artists being in that city. Like, people literally migrate to that city to go do their music.
So, you know what are you saying? NYC is played out?
No. I'm saying NYC is very saturated because it's not played out. I'm saying it's very saturated because it is popping in its own way. But like, it's the same thing with Atlanta. Atlanta has tons of new artists, tons of artists that roll out like every other month. The difference between Atlanta and New York is Atlanta is just starting in with that phase of being the poppin' place for everybody's hip-hop. Not just Atlanta's hip-hop, but everybody's hip-hop.
New York has the history behind it.
New York's been doing it for years and years, so of course it's going to be saturated. Whether the market actually calls for it to be saturated or not, it's going to be saturated.
Right.
But then when you take that into consideration, you're like, okay, so what do I do? Go to Atlanta? And it's like, well, Atlanta artists really aren't trying to put on anybody but Atlanta artists when you really get down to it.
Is that true?
That is 100% true. Like that.
You gotta be from ATL.
No, you don't have to be, but it's more likely that you're going to get put on as an Atlanta artist than being an artist in Atlanta from outside of Atlanta, unless an Atlanta artist likes you a lot, i.e. Metro Boomin. Like, it's how it has to happen like that. Like, and that's, I think that can, I don't know, I just didn't want to try to penetrate anybody's establishment that had already been built.
All right. I understand the Atlanta argument. I understand the New York argument. But can you speak to leaving the entire country? Because you could have gone to.
I can speak.
You could have gone to Chicago. You could have gone to Indianapolis.
I wouldn't have gone to Chicago. There's nothing in like Indianapolis that I would seek after. Like,
so why
and also
here?
Trump. So like that's a huge factor. Like, that's not even a joke. Like,
politics.
Yeah.
For real.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's not really the greatest place to be black and male. Like, the United States of America. I don't know if like.
But
That's
why
really
Spain
understood.
then? Why Spain? Why not London then? Why not
Well, I
Australia?
was already on my way here with a friend of mine and doing some other work. And when I got here, I noticed that like a lot of the art culture, like normal art culture that I really enjoy, not realized, but like I knew a lot of the normal art culture that I enjoy is like right here. And what I did notice is that it was lacking on like a younger pop culture scene, i.e. trap music, i.e. hip-hop music. So it's easier for me to come here and build something where there is nothing than there is for me to go to friggin' Paris where they have an entire scene established. And the last thing they want is an American artist coming and building up on their scene, which is exactly how the UK is. Not saying that any of these places don't like mess with us like that, like they don't deal with us, but like quite honestly, I understand. Like if you go someplace and you if something's already established there, the last thing anybody's gonna want to see you do is establish something new, and especially if it has like a potential of being something like more than what's already established there. So you personally, and then we'll get into food for art. But you personally, what kind of a response have you seen here in Barcelona specifically, as a rapper, an American rapper, coming here trying to do your thing? I get a lot of extreme love, but I get a lot of extreme hate on the other side.
Let's talk about the love first. Are people like,
only the love? Let's
man,
talk
it's an
about
American rapper? That's amazing.
Nah, it's cool because like if I open up for people, like for bigger name acts and things, like it's funny because like I have like this weird, like because of what I refer to as cultural fetishism, because that's exactly what it is. Because they're like, oh, there's this rapper, this American rapper from New York. He's here, and like, I can hear in his voice that he's actually American. You know, like it's so cool for him to be in this venue.
Legit.
But yeah, like I'm legitimized, like right alongside of whatever bigger name act that I'm like opening up for, which increases the amount of people that follow me, increases like my own personal fan base, and it also helps once those kids find out like, oh snap, he lives here. So again, with there not being a heavy culture here, it's like, oh, that's cool, we have our own like official thing. It kind of works that way.
How many rappers, I'm not looking for an exact number, but more or less, how many rappers are there in Barcelona right now? Like, is there a hot scene?
There are a few rappers. There are a few rappers. You got like LA Gangster. You got like 40 Macadon. You got like Notorious DICC. You got Pimp Flacco.
So there's a group.
Yeah, there are a couple people out here. There are a couple people like really out here. Like
now, obviously, rap is not as popular here in Spain as it might be in a place like Brooklyn or Atlanta or Houston or something like that, or Dallas. Is it difficult for you to book gigs because you're not a guy sitting on a stool playing the flamingo guitar? You know what I mean? Is it difficult for you to find venues to share your music in?
No, not so much, because like again, with like the way that even radio works nowadays, with all the extra and added components of like, you know, the streaming, and like right now, like there are people here in this city that are going to see this interview, and then there are people, like I have a whole group of people like back home that are going to see this, you know? So everything's so instantaneous at this point that like, no, the culture is evolving. They're responding to the youth. They're responding to this internet culture. They're responding to it. Like everybody has to respond to it, especially where pop culture is concerned. You eventually have to get with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for me because like, it's like, okay, there's very few of you guys here and you're an authentic one. We'll take you first because, yeah, unless I get like blocked out.
I love the strategy, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm calling it a strategy. It's your life. It's your life.
Yeah,
but I think it's really interesting, and it could be a pattern that some other artists.
I was actually very
might
hesitant
start
to talk about it here today, to be honest, because like
we got a lot of people listening in New York. I'm from New York too, so
like,
I love that strategy, man. Take the act on the road.
Yeah, just like, I mean, like, but it's not even like a new strategy, like, you know, like Marvin Gaye and like some of those older musicians used to come over to Europe, and because they were dealing with like intense racism where they were, so they would come here and be a little bit more receptive, like and dealt with better and paid better. It's just like, this isn't a new thing. Especially with like older hip hop acts, know, like your KRS-One. KRS-One is always out here. Like, he's always out here because he's known, and they've known for a while, that there's a lot of money to be earned out here, as especially as an established act from the States. There's a lot of money to be earned out here. So this is not even like super new. I think there's just like newer things that like myself and people like my bro Enlighten, shout out Enlighten, like I've been able to like come together and really, kind of develop our own personal strategy for Food for Art.
And you also touched on the social media aspect. I mean, that changes everything.
It changes absolutely everything.
It changes everything from my perspective with this show. As an artist, I mean, you can be anywhere performing, anywhere doing an interview, and it goes out to the whole world. Now, talk to me a little bit about these people we got here sitting in studio. Let me change the camera angle for the Facebook crew. Food for Art. Catchy name. Good-looking people here. What's going on here? What is the idea behind this project?
We're a creative company.
Creative company. All right, let's sell us here. Sell us here.
Yeah, so we're a creative art company. We're not a label. We're exactly that. We're like we do our best to try to bring everybody together and get them to work with one another in our areas of need. Our whole tagline is defining collaborative independence, which basically means being so strong within yourself, being such a good and solid artist and human being within yourself, and then turning around and working with other people that are so strong and so independent that whether they're with us or without us, they're going to be equally as successful, not hurt our brand, us not hurt their brand in any type of departure that should or may take part. Food for Art is, our hashtag is FRA the Nation. This isn't the extent of our members. Like, we literally have members in England, we have members in Boston, again, Enlighten. Like, we have members in Sweden, members in France. So this is about, and basically what we do is we come together and we help each other be the strongest independent artist that you can possibly be. And you do that within a team. So that's the whole defining collaborative independence.
Who started this organization here? Right here?
Yeah.
So was this your plan? Did you have this vision to come over here
Yes.
and kind of get a group together and grow together?
Yes. Yeah.
You're giving out too many secrets, man,
Exactly.
let me tell you. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you can, like, it's like, like, it's like the whole phrase, like, the tools don't make the art, the artist does. Like, I can give you all the freaking game in the world, like, but you got to execute it. Like, and when you go to execute it, you realize, oh man, that's kind of hard. Like, you know what I mean? So you'll have to make that decision. And if you do make the decision to follow through on it, more power to you. This is exactly what if we don't get copycats in what we're doing, then we're not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
We have to get the copycats. We have to get the people out here that try to duplicate this whole.
That's
this
the
whole
compliment,
strategy.
right?
It's more than the compliment. It literally means we're being successful in what we're doing. It literally, no, people don't copy anything unsuccessful. People don't go, oh man, that shit sucked. Let's do that.
No.
Like, nobody does that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, if we do get copycats, if we do get people, like, that's more power to FRA the fucking nation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's great. That's excellent to me.
You guys, in dealing with you and dealing with Ariana and everyone else from the Food for Art team, you guys have been more than professional. Me and my staff deal with a lot of people trying to schedule and organize and get music and promotion. You guys have been more than professional, so you got a real good thing going. Let's go back to the music, Blkswn. Now, this song here, this is called the Swan Song.
Not the Swan Song, just Swan Song.
Excuse me, Swan Song. So where does that name come from, this swan? What does Black Swan mean?
Oh, my God.
You know the question's coming.
Yeah.
You're going to get this question about 10,000 times in your life.
I know. Man, okay, so it's like it's a theory. It's not like a theory. It is exactly a theory. A theory that, like, I don't want to take a whole lot of time, like, in public
now I'm intrigued.
explaining. No. I'll be more than willing to explain it like off air. Like definitely, because it's also supposed. It's one of those things that I leave for like my art for like anybody to interpret the way that they see fit to interpret. And if I go and tell you what it is, then like
then it's out there forever.
Yeah. No, I'd rather you interpret it. Like I'll tell you definitely. Like I mean,
and I'll tell nobody. Don't worry.
Yeah, like when you tell a lot of them, right? But it's
I got nobody to tell.
It's my name is very like important to like me in this time period and so on. And even with swan song, like a swan song is like the noise that like a swan makes before, and it's like this whole ballet thing, which is like vaguely and loosely connected to the friggin' Natalie Portman movie.
Oh,
like yeah,
really?
I
couldn't have believed that.
But it's not directly.
I was hoping you would say that.
My name is not directly connected to that. I did not get my name from the Natalie Portman movie, which I love. Don't get me wrong, because I've watched that movie like maybe like 7 times a month at least. But like, I honestly like. I think I'd rather leave that to interpretation.
Here it is. Here he is. Blkswn, Swan Song. We're coming right back with the man himself. Barcelona City FM. Stay with us.
Gang, gang, gang. Hey, you should go fuck with the gang, gang, gang. Hey, gang, gang, gang. All my niggas the same. Yeah. You should go fuck with the gang, gang.
Catalonia, we've got your mornings covered.
No time for dreaming. Gotta get on up and do my thing.
Barcelona City FM 107.3. In English, in tune, in Catalonia.
I wanna get under your skin.
Barcelona City FM 107.3.
I pour that drink and sip it slow. I pour that drink and sip it slow. Sitting in a room full of sin. High tunes, eyes low. High tunes, don't you dare assume what I know. You never seen my
Barcelona City FM. I'd like to thank my previous guest, Philip Bartu from Simple, talking about confidence and the confidence misunderstanding. I love that guy. He's got a lot of great things to share. I hope to have him back on the air in the future. Right now I'm sitting here with the Food for Art crew, and Blkswn is here in studio. So I'd like to get a little bit into your creation process, and I like to do this next little exercise with artists. It's a simple question. How do you create?
I sit down in front of my computer and I go, what
I say
do I
create,
wanna hear? Create?
not masturbate.
No, well, it's the same process. It's the same thing.
I was like, shit, I hope he didn't think I said how do you masturbate.
I sit down in front of my computer or like sometimes I'm just walking. I don't know. Like, I generally just know what I want to listen to. So my creation process is usually like just kind of based off of what I want to hear, like the music that I want to be able to listen to. And if my like favorite artists aren't putting out any new music at the time, it's easier for me to be like, well, I'll just make it myself.
That's awesome.
So.
If it's like the old marketing thing, see a need, fill a need.
Exactly.
That's great.
Exactly.
Man. That's great. All right, so Blkswn, thank you so much for doing this. A couple quick hitter questions that we like to do with our people here. Here we go. We're looking for 2 sentences or less.
All right.
Best rapper alive.
Currently?
Alive.
Kendrick Lamar.
Best rapper of all time, dead or alive.
Eminem.
In 10 years, Blkswn will be...
Best rapper of all time.
and alive.
Hopefully. God willing.
Define lurk rap.
Okay, cool. That's really cool.
We'll give you more than 2 sentences.
No. Like, if you listen to Black Feather Diaries, like, there's a very specific sound to that trap music. That's lurk music. It's not even like lurk trap. Like, literally every song in that album is the definition of lurk music. And it's like something that I've designed with myself, another beat maker and producer in our company named Tag. This is Dwight again. Shout out him. And yeah, like kind of just did that. Like that album is Lurk music.
Hip hop in Spain is lacking.
It's difficult for me to look at what like something is missing. Inspiration? Or is that harsh? Like, yeah, like
What'd you say?
Like attitude, yeah, like swag,
Lacking attitude.
like force, like not.
Huh?
It's not that it doesn't exist here. Like, it's not that it doesn't exist here, and it's not that none of it's good here. It's just missing like a certain sense of this is me for real. Like, this is me seriously. And I take myself seriously. I take exactly what I'm doing seriously. I take this whole culture seriously. Like, it's missing a certain responsibility, I think would be the word.
Hip hop in 20 years will be
Pop. Just like hip hop will have taken over everything else, and there will be only hip hop left. Like everything will be based off of like hip hop. With the way that it's going, I'm serious. With the way that it's going, 90% of the pop music already sounds like some of freaking Katy Perry's biggest hits. Didn't Katy Perry just do a song with Migos? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like there will, in 20 years, hip hop will be the only genre remaining. Then there will be a bunch of subgenres within hip hop. So in 20 years, hip hop will be pop.
Last question. What inspires you, and you can elaborate a little here, what inspires your lyrics? Like, you got some dark stuff on there, you got some fun stuff. The night surf is kind of fun, but then I listen to your whole album again and again, and there's some, like, I mean, the videos, the music, guys, if you haven't checked out his music videos, go to YouTube, I guess, and just type in Black Swan.
Black Swan Vivo.
But make sure you type it in BLK SWN. What inspires your lyrics, man?
Shout out Smino too. This is like my only like real outlet. Like making art in general is like my only real outlet, and I've lived through a lot, and I don't really like explaining it word for word unless you catch me like on a one-on-one thing. I don't really like explaining it word for word, so this is like the area where I can touch on all of these things. I can touch on 50 things in 90 ways that I feel about those 50 things in like 5 bars, like because I know exactly the things that I'm talking about. So once I like I said before, like I'm kind of make the music for me to listen to it first, because half of the time I'm really just trying to get out of a situation. Like half of the time I'm really just trying to feel better about where I am currently. Sometimes I feel great about where I am, so that becomes the anchor that, you know, makes the song. But sometimes, like a song like the Yeah, where it's like, yeah, I got issues, yeah, I got problems. Like, yeah, I had a lot of fucking issues and problems like around that time, like a whole lot. Like, so obviously, like it's something that I call like situational transference. Like, you take a situation, put it directly into your art, and I swear it's gonna make your art better each time.
That's therapy too, man.
Oh, tell me about it.
Listen, man, thank you so much. I can speak for all of us here at Barcelona City FM. We're going to be watching. We're going to be watching not only you, but the whole crew here, Food for Art. You guys got a lot of motivation, and you got some good things coming. Where can people find out more? Where can they find your music? And what do you got going on Friday night?
So you can find all of the music and videos and everything. You can Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, anywhere that where you find your music in general. You can find, if you type in BLKSWN, you'll find all of my music. Friday, we're releasing the video for Kind, which is a single that features myself, this guy over here, Young Stry, the guy standing up over there, fucking Lou Cato, and another one of our members in Boston, Enlighten, and this beautiful girl who plays the actress in the last 2 videos. Dead Roast. So we're releasing that video Friday at Think Different, which is a smokers association here in Barcelona. So, like, it's
that's right. We have smokers associations.
Yes, we do.
For our international audience. Google it.
So we're gonna be holding that event, and also like as far as keeping up, like not too long, we're probably myself and this guy over here, Mr. Lone Wolf, will be also conducting a show, but working here with you guys, more or less.
Awesome, man.
It's called
awesome.
New Nation Radio.
You guys got so much going on.
So like at this very point, like I think, especially for like listeners here, I think it'll be like relatively easy to keep up with me. And also, I'm gonna come like be on your show. I'm just gonna come lurk around in your show when you're
just gonna drop in. Huh?
No, I'm just gonna sit in the corner and eat
again.
like mad loud chips, like the loudest chips I can find. I'm gonna eat it real close to the mic. That's what I.
Listen, man, chips or no chips, you're always welcome here on Going Deep. Thank you so much.
Thank
it's
you,
Blkswn. Facebook, Instagram, everything, Food for Art Crew.
Oh, Instagram, it's a real Blkswn, REALBLK.
Make sure it's the real one. There's a lot of imposters out there.
Shout out Smino.
Thank you guys so much. We're coming back in a minute with the beautiful Kelly Ann. Wait till you see her, everybody. She's got a serious story to tell. Thank you, Food for Art. Thank you, everyone. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Billy.
Catalonia, we've got your mornings covered with Barcelona City FM 107.3. Barcelona City FM 107.3 in English, in tune, in Catalonia. Barcelona City FM 107.3.
I'm back on my way back. In the back of the trap with the same crack. Pouring pink in my stack, got me laid back. With your bitch